Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we'll be solving derivative problem from past papers. The first question, as you see here on the screen, it says g of x is equal to f of x over x plus 1 plus f of x the whole square. And there are other given conditions, as you see here. F of 1 is equal to 8, and f derivative at 1 also is given to you too. So what is asked? Here it is, g derivative at 1. This is what we are looking for. So first of all, we need to derive the g and see the outcome. So g derivative of x means, first of all, as you see here, it's quotient function. So if you have f over g quotient function, the derivative will be f derivative times g minus f g derivative over g squared. That is the rule, or the formula, quotient rule. So I'm going to apply that formula here. The numerator function is f of x, so it's going to be f derivative of x times the denominator is x plus 1, right as it is, because f derivative g, so the g will be considered as x plus 1 minus f of x times the g derivative means x plus 1 derivative is 1, so I can ignore, because x plus 1 will derivative is 1, the whole over x plus 1 square, plus there is another function here, f of x derivative. Remember, f of x derivative, when you derivative is 2 times f of x times f derivative of x. How comes? Let me try to show you. We are trying to see how f of x, the whole square derivative, the derivative of this, how comes? Remember, if you are x square derivative, what to do? It is 2x, because the exponent will come and times their x derivative. According to chain rule, there is x derivative, don't forget that, but x derivative is 1, that's why we are ignoring it. For example, if you have x cubed derivative, this is the same as 3x squared, then you will stop, because the exponent will come as a quotient and the exponent will decrease by 1. That is a rule. But there is x derivative again. The chain rule says you have to derive the function like step by step. First the exponent remove, then the inner function has to be derived. So, but x squared derivative, it remains 2x because x derivative is 1, that's why. X cubed derivative also 3x squared remains because the x derivative is 1. So when you come to here, the same, when you derive this function, what will happen is the same as 2 times f of x, because the exponent comes as a quotient, and this reduced by 1. 2 minus 1, you know it's 1, times the inner derivative, that is f derivative of x. That's what I write here. So keep that in your mind, and let's continue now. So we know now g derivative of x, we already got it. This is the whole result. We cannot simplify it, we cannot collect. Therefore, we have to go to the last question now. G derivative 1 means just substitute 1 in place of x. But when you insert 1 in place of x, every x will be changed to 1. Like as you see, f derivative of x become f derivative at 1. And here 1 plus 1 will be 2 minus f of 1 plus the whole over f1 plus 1 the whole square. Let's finish it now. But we have to substitute what's given. F derivative 1 is given already to you, 2. So 2 multiplied by 2. I have to multiply 2 times 2, just 4, minus. And f of 1 is 8, the whole over 4, because 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 square will be 4. Plus 2 times again f of 1, which is 8. And f derivative at 1, it will be 4. I mean, derivative 1 is 2. Which is, you can calculate this result. First one is negative 1. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 8 will be 32. 32 minus 1 will be 31. Finally, the answer will be 31, which is found at B. This is answer for the first one. It has some kind of chain rule process. It's okay. Okay, let's continue the next question. The second question here, as you see, g of x is equal to x times f of x. Here it is. F of x is equal to x times f of x minus square root of f of x. And f of x and f derivative are 2 given to you. F of 2 and f derivative are 2 given to you. And we are asked to find g derivative at 2. So we need to correct this question. The question must be this one, f of 2 and f derivative at 2, it's 4. And we need to find g derivative at 2. That's the main question. So first of all, we have to derive the g. is derivative. G of x is equal to x times f of x minus the square root of f of x. So when you say g derivative of x, here we need to apply product rule because there are two functions, x and f of x. Product rule. Product rule says the first derivative times the second as it is, plus the first as it is times the second derivative. If you have fg, the whole derivative means f derivative g but plus fg derivative. So minus then the square root. When you derivate square root, here there are two functions composed with each other. What and what? The outer is square root, and then inside there is function f of x. So the outer derivative, the square root derivative, it will be 1 over 2 times the square root of f of x. Because remember, square root of x derivative will be 1 over 2 times square root of x. That is a rule. Then times, we derivate the square root. So what next? The derivative of the inner function. The derivative of f of x will be f derivative of x. So I will multiply f derivative of x. So I can write it here, f derivative of x. Because when you multiply, it's going to be numerator. So I can keep it as it is here. Therefore, we are asked g derivative at 2. G derivative at 2 means now I will insert 2 in place of every x. So g derivative at 2 means this is 2. I mean, x derivative, by the way, it's 1, so I can ignore this part. X derivative is 1. So we can say f of 2 plus 2 times f derivative at 2 minus f derivative at 2 over 2 times square root of f of 2, which is equal to f of 2 and f derivative at 2 already given to you, 4 plus 2 times 4 will be 8 minus, this is going to be again over 4 times, this is also 4, but 4 from the radical will be 2, 2 times 2 will be 4. So finally this answer is going to be, this is 1, so 4 plus 8 will be 12, minus 1 will be 11. So the answer is going to be A. That's the way how we can do. Okay, let's continue to the next question. The third one here, it says f of x equal to x squared over 1 plus x gx. And g of 2 given to you. G of 2 is equal to 1 and g derivative at 2 also given to you 10. Then what is asked? F derivative at 2. The same process I'm going to apply. First of all, we have to derivate f of x. So f derivative of x means this is quotient function. The function what you see, it's quotient function because numerator over denominator. So we are going to apply quotient rule. The upper derivative will be 2x times the down one as it is. We'll take it x1 plus xg of x. Then minus the upper as it is, and the down derivative has to be written here. But first, let's derivate it in another place. 1 plus xg of x. When you derivate this, one derivative 0, ignore. We have to derivate this part only. This is product. So product rule will be applied here. It will be x derivative times g of x minus, plus x times g derivative of x. But x derivative is 1, so that g of x plus, I can write it here. G of x plus, so it's going to be in bracket, in big bracket. Don't forget here, there is a big bracket. We do have g of x plus x times g derivative at x, the whole over the square of the denominator, according to quotient rule. That is 1 plus xg of x, the whole square. Therefore, we are asked f derivative at 2. So we are going to substitute 2 now. F derivative at 2 means, let us insert 2. 2 times 2 will be 4. And here also 2, here also 2. But g of 2 is, it is 1. So 1 times 2 will be just 2. In bracket, 1 plus 2, right? Minus, here also x squared, 2 squared will be 4. In bracket again, g of 2, it is 1 plus g derivative at 2 will be, because we are going to insert in every place, g derivative at 2 will be 10, and 10 times 2 will be 20. The whole over again, 1 plus 2 times g of 2 will be 1, so 1 plus, it's going to be 2, the whole square. So this is, so when you calculate, the answer finally is going to be -8, which is found at A. Okay, let us continue to the next question. The next question here again, f of x is equal to f of 2x plus 2 times g of 1 minus x squared, it says. Then f of 2 given, and f derivative at 2 also given, g of 1 given, and g derivative at 1 also given. So what's asked? Question is f derivative at 0, the capital F. So we need to derive this capital F. F derivative of x is equal to, we need to apply product rule here because these two functions are combined by multiplication operation. F of something times g of something. So we need to derive this function by product rule. The first derivative is f derivative of, better to use the whiter one. So it's going to be f derivative of 2x plus 2 times the inner derivative, that is just 2, times g of 1 minus x squared. What did I do? Look, f of 2x plus 2, when you derive this one, it's going to be f derivative of 2x plus 2 times the inner derivative. Because the derivative of f, okay, there are two functions here composed each other. One f, the other one is the inner function, which is a linear one. So the f derivative, I wrote it already here, f derivative of 2x plus 2 times the inner derivative, that is 2x plus 2. When you derive it, it will be 2. That's what I write here. This is the whole, the derivative of the first function, what you see here. The derivative of this whole will be this result. So times the second as it is, you will take, because remember product, if you have f times g derivative, it's going to be f derivative g plus f g derivative. So what did I do? First derivative, the whole is the blue, what you see, because it's composed function by itself, times g. Then again I will say here plus, and then I will proceed. So it's going to be f derivative of x, the capital F derivative of x. Try to observe the pattern. The first one, I try to derive f of x. What is the derivative of this function? As you see here, it's written by the arrow. F derivative of the whole thing times the inner derivative. The inner derivative means 2x plus 2. When you derive it, it's going to be 2 times product rule. The next times the second function as it is will come. Then plus, when you go to the after plus, what comes? The first as it is, f of 2x plus 2 times the g derivative. But g of 1 minus x squared, the whole derivative means when you derive this one, looks outcome. There are two functions here composed, one g, the other one in the inner quadratic. So the g derivative will be written g derivative of whatever it is, right as it is, 1 minus x squared, times the inner derivative. One derivative 0, but negative x squared derivative will be negative 2x. That's how I wrote this negative 2x written is from that. Then what is next? F derivative at 0. I'm going to substitute in every place of x 0, and let us see how comes. Therefore, now f derivative at 0 means, by the way, I will substitute 0 here, here 0, here also 0, here 0, and here also 0, and here also 0. But here 0 means it's going to be 0. 0 times this one, 0. Again, everything this will be 0. Because of this 0. Because negative 2 times 0 will be 0. So everything here, and ignore it. What left? Only the first part. Before the plus sign left. Because this one is times. All of them are times. So this is going to be 0, ignore. So what do we have? F derivative at 0 plus 2 will be 2 times 2 plus g of 1 remain, which is f derivative at 2 is given to you 4. 4 times 2 will be 8, and g of 1 is given to you negative 5. So minus 5. So the answer is going to be, so the answer will be, okay, this one is times, so we have to multiply, because this is the first part, the whole is times. So I'm not going to subtract, it's product. When you multiply, it's going to be negative 40. So the answer is found at A. So please, when you are deriving this kind of function, don't forget to apply chain rule. Chain rule will be applied. But when you see it's longer, don't frustrate, because as you see, at some point everything might be cancelled and it will be condensed and simplified. Okay, let's go to the next question. The next question again here, as you see, f of x is given to you. What is that? F of x is equal to ln of square root of x squared. Here there are three functions composed. What are they? Try to see them one by one. The outer function, let's color it. The outer function is ln. After ln, what comes? Square root. After square root, what comes? Quadratic. So when you derivate f, we have to derivate first from the outer. For example, there is a rule. What does it say? F of g of h of x, if you have the whole derivative. If you are asked the whole derivative, what to do? First of all, f derivative of g of h of x, you write times, then g derivative of h of x, then times h derivative of x. You need to start from the outer and go on the next one and go on. You have to go inside, so that we need to start from the ln derivative. What is ln x derivative? Don't forget it is 1 over x. So if you have ln of f of x or ln of whatever here, when you derivate it, what will happen? 1 of that function, 1 over of. What about square root derivative? Square root of derivative, the square root of x is 1 over 2 radical x. You know that. So square root of whatever, if you have g of x, how to derivate it? 1 over 2 times square root of g of x. You have to derivate in this manner. So remembering this rule, let us derivate now step by step. So this is the first step. What did I do? When you derivate it, the derivative of f of x will be first the ln, the outer ln derivative is 1 over whatever it is. Ln of what? Ln of something. That something is the square root of x squared plus 1. Then times, after ln what comes? Square root. Square root of whatever it is when you derivate it, it's going to be 1 over 2 times the square root of that thing. I wrote it. Then times the inner derivative. In the square root, we do have x squared plus 1. The derivative will be here. It is. Then finally, let us simplify. The numerator part is 1 times 2x. It's going to be just 2x. The denominator part, when you multiply the two, square root cancel, because they are the same. Like radical 3 times radical 3 will be just 3. So radical something times radical something. If that something is the same, the inner part, the radical will move. So 2 times what remains? X squared plus 1 remains. So cancel 2 by 2 here. So finally the answer will be x over x squared plus 1, which is found at B. These are some questions solved about chain rule, but additional questions will be solved in the next video. Thank you for watching.